Hello and welcome to Forest TV. It's Black History Month in the UK, and the light of that, we are celebrating Black entrepreneurs, Black business owners. And on today's program, we have with us Mark Fraser. Mark Fraser is the CEO of Aero Astro As Limited, and also he's an aerospace engineer, a game designer, and in the past has worked with Nintendo. And now Mr. Mac designs and publishes independent games. Also, he runs 6 startup businesses in the UK, and also he's a mentor to 5 mentees. Now, that's something that is very interesting and impeccable. So, Mr. Mac, talk to us.
Hey there, Lemon. First of all, thank you for inviting me on your show. I'm really appreciative of the opportunity and happy Black History Month as well. It's always something to celebrate. So first of all, I like to use the old adage, working smart rather than hard. But I feel like as an entrepreneur, you still have to put in the work and the effort to, of course, achieve things that you want to happen. You have to put in the hours, you have to put in the time. It's typically 2 to 3 times more work than like just a normal job. Sometimes you work late, weekends, long hours, but in the end, work on a dream is way better than working on someone else's at the end.
Right. Now, so let's just dive into it. So can you give us a little bit of background story about you, like what shaped you, your childhood story? Because for every business person out there, there's something in their childhood that makes them who they are. So can you give us an insight into that?
Yeah, I was a young kid growing up in Southwest London. I do have dyslexia as well. We call it neurodivergency now. So there were some challenges in early life. I had to sort of work a lot harder than a lot of kids who could read and write faster than me. I was in all the lowest sets when I was young. I wasn't very encouraged by my teachers. But luckily, I had a strong Black woman in my life, my mother, and she really pushed me to excel in life and exceed in everything that I do. And I do owe a lot to her. She also is a business owner. She was in the Navy as well, and as a nurse. So that really shaped my life and my backbone of who I am as a person.
So your mother had a great influence on your life.
Very much so. I come from a single parent family. So my mother raised 2 kids on her own. She had her own house, her own place, her own business.
Okay. Let's talk about, Aero Astro Arts. Right. So how did that come about? What led to that particular vision for you to start a business? Because we do know in this country, starting a business is not that easy. So how did it happen?
Well, you'll find that starting a business is very easy. Running a successful business is the hard bit.
That's true.
So I was actually studying at Kingston University when I started my company. I was studying aerospace engineering with astronautics and space technology.
Yeah.
A few years in 2007, I was actually freelancing on the side doing like 3D work, video game sort of type things. I've been making games since I was 15, but as a freelancer. And then I kept on getting so much demand and people asking me to work for them. And I had so much surplus work, I started freelancing out to other people. And then it made sense making a company out of it. So I had so much demand for what I was doing that it made sense to form a company about it. I was very inspired by Richard Branson books. At the time, it was quite popular. And I decided to sort of take the leap and start a company, Aero Astro Arts. It made sense at the time because I was studying aerospace engineering with astronautics and space technology, basically rocket science. Man, I was making games, so I was kind of both worlds together.
Okay. Can you talk to us about some of the independent games you've published?
Yeah, actually, we are working on our first few titles because for 17 years we've been acting as an outsourcer, working for other people. But we made this in 2022 become an indie game. We're working on Neo Tokyo Patrol, a top-down shooter game, and also Noble Order. It's a fantasy RTS real-time strategy game. And also other games that we're working on as well for the future will be After the Swarm, which is a massive, massive undergoing that we're planning. We're also working with some non-profits on some games for charities as well. So we're working with Urban MBA. They have an NFT lineup called The Street Entrepreneur, which we are working on the game adaptation for. And we're looking to sort of integrate that with that. I can't talk too much about that, but it's something that's in the works. Yeah. I mean, I could talk a little bit about it, but not too much.
Right. So,
But
by all,
we'll come over.
so if there's a young man or a young woman out there that's trying to get into the gaming industry, what would be your advice for them as a mentor?
Oh, for specifically for video games, get as much experience as early as you can. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be game jams, it could be events, it could be competitions, internships, joining indie teams, forming your own team, your own company, networking with industry professionals, visiting events, going to seminars, going to training camps, boot camps, whatever you can do, whatever opportunity you can utilize. I would say go in head first and get that experience, and show them who you are and make your connections while you're doing that. And then potentially that network will grow. And when there's a job that comes up, you'll be the first person that comes to mind. Very competitive industry, but it doesn't mean that you can't make it in it. I don't want to sort of put people's hopes too high. It's a very, very competitive industry to get into. But if you're passionate about it, if you're good and you work hard, then you'll get there and you'll persevere.
So what do they need to... So if they are going to university, take for example, you have a kid in college, right? Whose idea of success is, I want to start my own gaming company.
Right.
What softwares should they start looking at? Like AutoCAD? How do they begin to get into it?
That changes very, very frequently. So I would say focus on transferable skills. The software isn't that important, but it depends on where you want to go. So, for example, if a studio that you've done research on uses Maya or 3ds Max or even Blender, which is free, then you want to make sure that you're tooled up in what they're using. So you already have the skill set. And often a job posting will say you need this, and this, and maybe you can tailor yourself. You can train yourself up pretty quickly to learn these tools once you learn one. So once you learn one 3D application, others, are easy to pick up. The same with programming language as well. Once you know one object-oriented programming language, it's very easy to pick up another one because they've got the same sort of syntax and other things like that. So you can really have transferable skills. But I would say if you're an artist, focus on the fundamentals as well. Be a master at the fundamentals, like lighting, rendering, sketching, those kind of things. Make sure that you're proficient in that and you have an excellent portfolio and you get feedback early and often. There's loads of Discord channels you can join, like Concept 101 and, Stylized Station, other things like that you can get involved in. And there's other game jams. I work with many different companies like Into Games, Yuki, Limit Break, I do the mentorship with, as you mentioned earlier. And also more recently, Urban MBA, I'm working very closely with them. So there's loads of non-profit charities you can get involved with that you can get like a little bit of experience with, and they do a lot of activities that can help you sort of demonstrate your skills, because that's a super important skill. You have to show something on your portfolio that stands out and captures the eye.
So would you suggest that they be like a general practitioner, like know how to rig a character, know how to write a storyboard, know how to create stop motions and all of that before
I
they
would say it
specialize?
depends on the role. It depends on the role you're going for. If you're going to a AAA company or like a more industry-based company, yes, specialize. But if you're looking to go into like a smaller, like more flat structured business, like an indie company, or like maybe a small business that's making games but it's got a small team, then you're gonna have to wear more hats. Valuable as someone who does more things as a generalist. But if you're going into a bigger corporate structure, you're going to be doing one thing all day, every day. So you got to make sure that you're specialized in that and your portfolio reflects that. So it really depends, like whether you're going to go for a AAA company or a smaller company, and
Right.
your skill set has to demonstrate the skill set that will fit the role that you're trying to go to. So sorry, I haven't got a concise answer for you. So it has to be specific to where you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now let's touch on your other five businesses, your other five startup
Yeah.
businesses. Right. So can you just give us a brief gist as to these other five businesses that you currently operate?
Okay. I did mechanical engineering for a while. So I made an engineering company for that, but also I wanted later on to bring that back to my space grounding background, or space engineering background, because there's a big push in the UK for space engineering, because we've got 6 spaceports currently under development or functional at the moment in the UK. Also, there's a lot of like ancillary services that's around that as well. Also, I have 2 e-commerce businesses that I'm just starting up as well, and I have a property sourcing business, and I mix that with property luxury brokering as well. It's a little bit complicated, and it is kind of a lot of work, but it is very much worth it, and it's a lot of in-demand industries. So I feel like a lot of the industries that I'm in, they complement each other in terms of systems. So it makes it easier for me because I can just copy and paste systems over to different businesses and use the same model, and I can work smarter rather than harder.
Right. So a lot of transferable skills allows you to
Yeah.
diversify.
Yes. But also I'm on a few business accelerator courses as well. I completed the Barclays Funding Readiness Program. I completed the Immerse, founded by an Immerse Early Stage Accelerator. And I'm currently on another program that's funded by the Mayor of London, Games London, Game Changer. And we're going to Helsinki in November as well. So that's pretty exciting. And you learn a lot of skills for business that you don't learn in school, and these accelerator programs. I would highly recommend this if someone's starting a business on this accelerator program, because it will teach you about the business and the finance and the market inside of business that you may not get elsewhere.
So you're just moving on full speed, just going and going.
It's the only way to live.
It is the only way. So if you were to give an advice to a young black kid out there, what would be the advice? It's Black History Month. You have to give them a draw.
Get the best grades you can possibly get, because getting them as an adult is tough, but set yourself up for success. Focus, make sure that, it's tempting to go out with your friends and all that, but sometimes you just got to stick there in the library, do the thing that everyone else doesn't want to do. But at the end of the day, when you've got your AAA stars, and all your, signing grades and all that, the world is your oyster. Education is power, knowledge is power. And if you can educate yourself, you can do anything.
Okay. Now, one final question. You were mentor to five mentees, right? So how do you
6, but
6?
yeah.
I think we have someone we need to put in Guinness World Record over here. So now, so how do you pick the right mentee? How do you know they have potential?
Well, Yeah, I actually favoured underdog really. So through Limit Break, the point of Limit Break is to actually mentor people who are marginalised and underrepresented. So someone actually from Limit Break put a list down of all the mentees who didn't have a mentor, and I contacted each and every one of them. It was actually a list of 12, and out of the 12, 6 went forward and chose me as their mentor. So I'm actually following through with that and continuing helping people who haven't got a mentor, who fell through the cracks and maybe, might have lost hope, but, trying my best to sort of keep good talent in the industry and help lead them where I can. Exactly, yeah. And hopefully give them the mentor that I never had when I was younger when I started.
All right. So if there's a young kid out there or a company or a brand that needs to reach out to you, how do they get in touch?
Yeah. Well, you can either get in touch with me through my website, errorasherarts.com, or through LinkedIn. I'm quite easy to find, just Mark Fraser, Error Asher Arts. I'm usually at the top of the list. I am on Instagram as well. Every social network is Error Asher Arts, AERO, ESR. Yeah, so you probably know this, man. So pretty much you can find me everywhere through my branding. I've got a few interviews out on YouTube now. Hopefully I'll put more and I'm showcasing as much as I can with my video games, and I'll try to make myself as much available as I can for relevant queries if anyone has one.
Okay. Mark Fraser, thank you for having us today, and thank you for joining us on this BHM, month. And we wish you the best in all your endeavors. And we hope you have a nice.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.